Once upon a time in Akogun village, there was a huge tree at the border of the village known as the ugly tree. The tree was so huge that its branches extended to cover the whole village from view. The villagers didn't mind the tree, even though they called it the ugly tree as it had many scars and was deformed at many angles. It provided shade for children and adults alike. Despite having many songs to mock the tree for its ugly look, nobody really minded the tree's existence, as to them it was just a tree. Very huge and ugly, yes, but nonetheless just a tree to them, until one day when the children of the village started singing a song they claimed the tree had taught them. The elders didn't believe at first that a tree could talk when the parents of the children brought it to their attention. But then, these children suddenly disappeared, and the last place they were seen was under this very ugly tree. This made the villagers to gather together and decided to cut down the tree. The men worked day and night to cut the tree, but on the seventh day, when they were beginning to reach its core, the tree spoke to them and said, "If you cut me down, you will all be dead before dawn." The men were shocked and temporarily stopped cutting the tree. They believed the tree was capable of doing what it said, since it had already taken 5 children from the village. The wives of the men were more scared and begged their husbands to stay away from the tree. Eventually, the men stopped cutting and went home. The next day, when they returned to the tree had mended itself and had become whole again, as though they had never touched it. This scared the men out of their wits, and they all went to the village's native doctor. The native doctor informed them that the tree was indeed cursed, and that only people who were handicapped like the tree could bring it down. Upon hearing this, the villagers quickly arranged for it. The first set of people that came were the blind. They were paid handsomely to cut down the tree. They worked day and night, but on the 7th day, when they were about to reach the core of the tree spoke again and told them, "Anyone who successfully cuts me down will die before the next day." When they heard this, they all hurried away, refusing to continue working despite the villagers' pleas. The tree soon mended itself back, and the next set of people started afresh. The villagers caught those who were crippled, and they started cutting the tree. But on the 7th day, the same thing happened again. They all fled for their lives. Others came after, but none could complete the task. The villagers then arranged for the deaf. They came and started cutting the tree. On the 7th day, as usual, the tree spoke to them and threatened them with their lives. But unfortunately for the tree, the deaf men couldn't hear the threats. They successfully cut down the ugly tree, and the villagers were filled with joy. But at the same time, they were worried for the deaf men. They went back to the native doctor, who told them there was no way to reverse the tree's curse on the men. All the men would die before dawn. The villagers were sorry for the brave men who helped them take down their mortal enemy. So, as compensation, the villagers agreed to help fund their burial. They got the coffins and dug the graves. The next morning, they carried the coffins and blew the trumpets, singing sorrowful songs as they walked to the men's houses, only to find them feasting on roasted chicken. The deaf men were in a celebratory mood as they devoured delicious roasted meats, beef, bushmeat like antelope, zebra, turkey, pig, you name it. They had earned quite a lot from their recent tree cutting job and wished for more like that in the future. They even asked the village if they could cut more tree for them. It turned out that the ugly tree had only made empty threats, as it saw the villagers' determination to bring it down. The villagers were confused, looking at the men who looked hale and hearty. But nonetheless, they were happy that they had gotten rid of the ugly tree and that the men were safe. So they started singing, "The ugly tree is gone, and now our village can be beautiful again. The wicked tree is gone, and now our village can know peace. The dark tree is gone, and now we can see the sunlight from our houses." The mournful atmosphere soon turned into a celebratory one. They all joined the men to celebrate. But that evening, when the villagers returned home, they saw the 5 missing children at home. They had been found in the forest by a hunter. The children narrated their ordeal, and the villagers found out that they had not been kidnapped by the tree. The children were the mischievous ones in the village. They had ventured out on their own into the forest out of curiosity, but then lost their way and ended up being kidnapped by a hunter, from whom they later escaped before being found and rescued by another hunter. The villagers took a deep breath upon hearing their stories. They had cut down the innocent old ugly tree for this sole reason. Not just that, they also found out from the elders of the neighboring village that their forefathers, that is, the forefathers of Akogun, had planted the tree there to protect their village because their land was prone to wind erosion. Their forefathers had suffered a lot for years from the wind destroying their houses over and over again. So they sought the oracle and planted the powerful tree, which grew to cover the village with its branches and diverted the wind to itself. For thousands of years, the tree protected the village and bore all the destructions caused by the wind, resulting in the deep scars it had, hence its ugly look. Now, according to a weather forecaster, the villagers of Akogun village have more than the wind and harsh sun rays to worry about because storm is coming. If you've learned anything from this story, do subscribe to my channel, like and comment. Share these videos to your friends and see you in my next video. Bye bye.